What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Final Whistle. I'm Danny Erb, joined alongside my guy, Nathan Osler. Episode 26. We're finally back. Back in
Yeah,
our both main setups, back just together. It's been a little while.
has
Just
been a
because
while.
due to break and, conflicts. We pumped out an episode last week just to do it. And we're finally back, just the two OGs, and feel good about it. So we got a lot on our plate today. A lot's going on in sports. There was a few dead weeks, and now
Yep.
we're in the full throttle of it. It's crunch time in NFL. It's college football playoff. There's a lot going on. There's even a crazy something crazy in the MLB that happened with Juan Soto. I don't know if we'll talk about that, but that's nuts.
Possibly
700. What was it? 700.
765, but it actually will equal 800
Wow.
because after year 5, not to get off topic here, but after year 5 of that contract, he was originally making $51 million a year. The Mets, he has an opt out after year 5, but the Mets can void it. But if they void it, it turns into $55 million a year.
Wow.
So it's practically $800 million.
Jesus. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
MLB offseason in full gear.
Yeah.
NBA Cup.
That's the NBA Cup. I honestly don't even. Honestly,
the NBA.
I
Cup.
am so uninterested in the NBA this year. It's, partially because my team is one of the worst in the NBA. But
it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to get into last night's game first?
Yeah. So, do we want to do that as we do power rankings, or do we just want to cover games and then do power rankings later?
We'll cover games and do power rankings.
Okay. We can honestly save power rankings until after Thursday Night Football if we wanted to, or whatever.
True. We could do that. We could have a Thursday night power rankings just because the whole week. Yeah, last night's game, Bengals versus the Cowboys. I see Chris commented. You're right, Jamarcus. Chris, you're a Bengals fan. I swear you're a Cowboys fan like 3 years ago. So I guess both your teams lost there because you're a Cowboys fan, but you're a Bengals fan. So I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, Bengals finally get a win. They finally got some like Chiefs magic with that blocked punt.
Oh my
god, that's nuts. That's crazy. That the Cowboys have to be sick. And I think you got to be in full tank mode now, Jerry Jones, and draft Ashton Genty, because this Cowboys team sucks, and CeeDee Lamb needs some help, man. And I think this also stems back to a point that I tried to make, and everyone disagreed with me when I said Dak Prescott's an elite quarterback. Look what happens when Dak Prescott is not playing quarterback. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL. You know what I mean? It's the same with Tua. People like to hate on Tua, say Tua's awful, he's terrible. But then when they leave, their team's a dumpster fire. You look at other teams, their quarterback leaves and they do all right.
The Cowboys have had so many injury issues this year. It wasn't even Dak. They lost Micah Parsons and half the defense for the beginning of the season. Exactly. I know without half that defense, they still beat the Steelers. Like, as a fan, I'm looking back at that game. And
crazy, that game. I thought about that today. I was in bed. I was on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like, we lost to the Cowboys.
The Colts too.
We'd be 11. Yeah, we should have like one loss.
That's another topic.
But that.
Yeah, last night I turned on the game a little late. I was playing Xbox and stuff. Turned it on for the fourth quarter. And I see the Cowboys are winning. The Bengals score again. And then the Cowboys have a chance to win this game. And the Bengals punt it. They block the punt. And I'm like, oh boy, the Cowboys are in great position to just eliminate the Bengals out of the playoffs. If the Bengals were to lose last night, they were done. They would have been gone. But then the Chiefs and Steelers, I like to joke the Steelers have the same magic sometimes. Not really this year. They played a lot better this year. But mainly the Chiefs, the little devil magic. Yeah. Muffed punt after they block the punt. The special teams of the Cowboys chokes it away, and the Bengals get the ball back, and then Jamar Chase game-winning touchdown. But yeah, Jamar Chase and the allegations you had against him being terrible.
Yeah, completely wrong. I mean, I've said that. I think I've mentioned this every episode since then. I've said, okay, I'm wrong on this. So anyone that is still holding that against me, I don't know what you're doing. But I think it's time for this discussion. Is Jamar Chase better than Justin Jefferson?
That's
this year he is. This year he absolutely is.
To have.
He's better than. I mean, sure, you can say all you want, but Jamar Chase leads the league in receptions, touchdowns, receiving yards. So he's better right now than Justin Jefferson. And I I mentioned this and someone said, well, Justin Jefferson doesn't have a quarterback. Hold on. Because Sam Darnold's playing better than Kirk Cousins ever did in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He is. They have 2 losses. They're playing good. You cannot say that because they're playing good. Jamar Chase is a better wide receiver right now than Justin Jefferson. He is.
Jamar Chase has 4 games this season of over 100 yards receiving, 2 of which are over 190. Well, I'll say 193 because that was the lowest of those. And then the third highest is 177. Fourth highest, 118. You know how many teams would kill to have a wide receiver give them 118 yards in one game? That's pretty, like in the NFL today, it's pretty rare to hit 100 yards at this point because it's kind of about sharing the wealth. I mean, the Bengals have T. Higgins. He has had some injury issues. He's probably not going to be a Bengal next year. And then there's the whole, is this Jamar Chase contract thing going to come back to bite them this offseason again? But Jamar Chase, Danny, let me ask you a question here. What do you think his lowest amount of receiving yards in a game is this season?
Well, I mean, he was 3 yards.
No.
He's horrible for the first 3 weeks.
35 in week 2.
35.
He had 35 against the Chiefs. I mean, 35 yards, that's kind of a wide receiver like 2 or 3 numbers in the NFL today. So, I mean, still, like he's been putting up great numbers. Usually he is averaging, average yards a game. Well, regular season stats this year, 1,319. I would have to do some math really quick. I can't really do that in my head that quick. But yeah, this guy, he's killing it. I'll give credit where it's due. Jamar Chase, he's on fire this year. I think he's in the running for an offensive player of the year. I think he should. Yeah, I don't think he'll win it, but I think he should.
I think he deserves it more than Derrick Henry, but I think Saquon's running away with this award.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too later if we want to go through maybe MVP or some award predictions. I think that would be a good talk. But last night, I mean, the Bengals are somehow still alive in the playoff race. The Cowboys are all but done, you would think. The Cowboys' best record they could go is 9-8. And then let me look at the standings here, the wild card wise, because I've been looking at teams that are not going to have 8 losses. And that's where you kind of cut it off. Like the Steelers could have been in a situation where hypothetically the Colts and Dolphins lost, or the Dolphins would have lost. They need the Colts to lose. The Bengals probably need to lose. I mean, they already have a tiebreaker over them. But let me hear standings. The Bengals somehow are still alive. It is probably a 0.10% chance, like 0.0010% chance they're making it. They are on the cusp of being eliminated. The Browns are right below them in the records. They are eliminated. They have an E next to their name. Cowboys-wise, actually in the NFC, the Panthers have yet to be eliminated, which is pretty funny, but I think that's just because the NFC South is still kind of up in the air because the Falcons have completely collapsed. The best team in the NFC South is the Bucs. They're 7-6. Cowboys-wise, they're at 5-8. They kind of are. They're only 2 games back of a wild card spot, which is kind of funny, but like I don't think they're going to get it. They have absolutely 0 tiebreakers. The teams ahead of them with tiebreakers, the Saints have a tiebreaker because of their head-to-head win. The Cardinals have a tiebreaker over San Francisco right now, and the Falcons have a tiebreaker over Arizona, and then a division tiebreaker to eliminate San Francisco, which is kind of interesting. So, but yeah, the Cowboys, I don't think have a chance. The Bengals, I don't think have a chance, but I think they have the better chance to make it with how the AFC looks, because all the Bengals have to do somehow is jump the Dolphins 1 game ahead of them and the Colts 1 game ahead of them, and somehow hope and pray that the Broncos or Chargers or even the Ravens have a dramatic collapse, because all those teams are 8-5. You got to hope they go at least 9-8. That's the best case scenario, and you have a tie or whatever. You're muted.
Muted? Am I back?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, it's impossible for them to make it. I mean, it's not bad, but the Panthers are technically still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So take that as you will.
Hey, they almost won this past week.
I really wanted
Very
them
close.
to.
Every time I turn them on. I turned them on last couple weeks ago when they were almost beating the Chiefs. They lost, and then I turned them on right when Xavier Legette had that almost amazing, like great catch.
Yeah.
But you know what? Last night was fun. But you know what? Since we're talking about Panthers, do we want to talk about them and the Eagles really quick? Since we're on the topic.
Yeah. So,
Can I just say this?
Yep.
I'll start this off. I think Bryce Young has won a lot of people over since coming back.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think he has. He had 191 yesterday, or Sunday, that is. I saw interviews, Eagles fans calling for Jalen Hurts to be benched. He had 108 yards against the Panthers defense. I mean, Chuba Hubbard has been a great running back this season for them. If Xavier Legette catches that football and it barely hits the ground, the Panthers beat the Eagles. That would have been an amazing upset. The Panthers being 3-10, they stink, yes. But I think Bryce Young is trying to prove to people that they need to believe in him. And I think the Panthers believe in him. I think a lot of fans have been won over since he's come back. He's had some very close games. They almost beat the Chiefs and Eagles this year. The Chiefs came down to a game-winning field goal. The Eagles win was almost on the road, and it didn't happen because of a drop ball on the 5.
Yeah.
And it was almost caught. It would have been a pretty insane catch, but I guess I would blame that on Legette, just not holding it enough.
Yeah.
But either way, I can't be mad at the Panthers. I would be more so mad at the Eagles for kind of playing down to this opponent. But the Eagles, let me just say this, besides this game, this is a team surging up my power rankings. Easily.
I agree.
They have completely turned it around since their sluggish beginning of the season.
They for sure have. They were 2-2, and they're undefeated ever since then. They haven't lost a game since they were 2-2. They're a dangerous team, and the issue is their offense doesn't even look that. It's not even that complete. I mean, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are just not getting the receptions, not getting the yards, not getting the targets that they need, and that's because Saquon Barkley is just feasting on this on offense. And when your running back is doing that good, you don't need to throw the ball that much. And when you do, you don't need to go deep, which AJ Brown's a deep ball receiver. AJ Brown's not a curl receiver. He's not going to run a 5-yard out. He's a 20-yard bomb type guy. So I know there was a lot of stuff that I saw where there was aggression from AJ Brown. He was upset with his target share, or his, he's not getting the ball enough. I think he's got to suck it up. Your team is one of the best in the NFL. I'd say it's the second best in the NFC right now. And you got to just kind of deal with it. You are still a great receiver. Figure it out. It's really not his fault because his offense is doing so good. So you got to be more of a team player.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of this AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts drama that is kind of surged. I'm just looking on Twitter right now, and there's the whole thing. AJ Brown has changed. This is 4 minutes ago. AJ Brown has changed his profile picture on Instagram to the Joker. I don't know. I don't know if this is the type of thing that could ruin some chemistry. I don't think it will, because the Eagles are just good enough to get around it. I mean, they have other targets. I don't know why AJ Brown would have to be upset. They're winning games. Yeah. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I don't think Jalen Hurts has played the greatest football. Don't get me wrong, but he's still their QB1. He should be their QB1. I think he's a perfect fit for Philly. He's a perfect fit for that offense. Exactly. I don't think any other quarterback, we saw it on, I think, Sunday Night Football, or actually matinee game, was the Bills and Rams. They tried doing the Josh Allen version of the Philly spec, the tush push. And it worked, but it just wasn't the same. That's Philly's go-to play, and they made that popular. Yeah. And you know me, I've hated so much on the tush push, but the only team that does it perfectly and lines up perfectly, even though the Bills did it right, is the Eagles. And you know why? Their quarterback's mobile enough to do it. He doesn't rely on his linemen to push him. He's right there in the pocket, moving up. It works. It's a very cheesy play I hate, but you know what? I got to respect it. I hope if there's actual beef and it's not people making stuff up, that they get it solved after the Steelers game this week. Yeah. I think it'll be really funny. But yeah, they're 11-2. I don't think they need to be panicking. I understand why their fans are upset that they only beat the Panthers by this much. But I mean, it took the Chiefs a walk-off field goal. The Eagles they almost did lose this game, though. They wouldn't have had time to get down the field, that is. It came down to that incomplete pass because there was, I think, seconds left. So I get why they're mad. But, you can't be – I get Philly fans are very diehard. It's Pennsylvania in general. Pennsylvania fans are going to let you know. Northeast fans are going to let you know when you stink and when you're good. And Eagles fans, they're not to mess with. I know a bunch, but I think it's way too out of proportion to be like, Jalen Hurts needs benched. Trade Jalen Hurts. We need a new QB. Like, I'll play Kenny Pickett this week. Gladly. But yeah,
that would be
I don't
fire.
know.
Kenny Pickett, revenge game against the Steelers. I'm not kidding. I might be an Eagles fan that week. That'd be fire.
Yeah, it is written himself. It's written itself. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to this, or we want to move on to another game.
Yeah, we can move on. I mean, previewing even next week for just a second, Steelers versus Eagles is going to be crazy. George Pickens might not play. That's what the rumor is.
Pickens has never missed a game in his career, and it was first one was last week. And I think the Steelers definitely missed him for a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what? And we can talk about this a little later because I want to make this part quick here. I think fans of the Steelers, and I was even realizing this during the game, how much they needed a wide receiver pickup because nothing was clicking in really the first quarter at all. Guys weren't open. Guys weren't able to get open. Wilson wasn't even able to connect with like a tight end that much. There was only one first down at one point in the first half. It took them a while to click. It was not a good first quarter. And we can get, you know what? Let's just get to the Steelers Browns, I guess, since we're on the Steelers right now. I know we usually save the Steelers for last, but the Steelers, let me just say this. I think they're playing great football. I think they're proving a lot of people wrong. They're 10-3. And we were talking earlier about how some of their losses just don't make sense right now. The Colts, the Cowboys, they lost to the Colts and Joe Flacco. And then they had a bad Anthony Richardson in the first quarter. They lost to a fully, I guess, offensively healthy Dallas Cowboys, but the defense was missing key pieces. And then they lose to the Browns in the blizzard. I think they should have still won that game. No excuses for me because it's the Browns.
Yeah.
They come back. The offense looked a little sluggish at first, but then they started to click. Yes, the whole thing was Pickens is out. I hated how the Pittsburgh media was trying to spin it to be like, oh, I think maybe there's something deeper in this because the whole finger gun celebration, blah, blah, blah. No. Can we please stop that mentality?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because the report came out today, the hamstring could be an issue. So it's clearly he's not in timeout. So I can't wait to see how they spin that report. But this game, Russell Wilson started out slow. I thought this was a better second half. It was the typical, they're going to strike in the second quarter, second half type of thing. And that was a Steelers team we haven't seen in a while because they've been able to strike early, which has been really nice. Russell Wilson, 158, 2 touchdowns, no picks at all. I think he's at 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But yeah, Jameis Winston, they took advantage of his mistakes. That's how they were going to win. The Steelers defense woke up. It was funny to see TJ Watt and Myles Garrett had a complete opposite game like they had in Cleveland. TJ Watt showed up. Myles Garrett did not. I know he had the one play. Steelers Nation booed him because he was celebrating like crazy. They chanted that Cleveland sucks. Good for them. Cleveland's officially eliminated with that loss.
Let's go.
Glad to see they got their win in the blizzard, but is what it is for them. We'll see them next year because they're going to be golfing when the Steelers are probably, hosting maybe a wild card game because they might be hosting a playoff game. They could clinch the division, I think, in 2 weeks against the Ravens.
That'd be so
I
sick.
think that would get them the division. But other than that, I guess, let me just read this name. I didn't even think this guy had this big of a game, but he did. With 13 total tackles, 9 all by himself, Deshaun Elliott. 1 pass deflection. That guy has been, I think, my favorite acquisition the Steelers have made. I know they got Patrick Queen, but Deshaun Elliott, he's been able to show up when Minka has been kind of quiet with the turnover.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, I guess like touchdown-wise, we got to see Najee get in the end zone. I know you're not really fond of him. Freiermuth getting used. We saw Scotty Miller with 4 targets. Mike Williams finally was getting targets, 36 yards for him. Van Jefferson with a touchdown. I thought that was one of my favorite play calls on Sunday. He was wide open on the little short route, right, rolling out of the pocket. But yeah, they did what they did. Steelers did what they needed to do, bounce back. I'm excited for Hard Knocks tonight to rewatch that win. Did you watch episode 1?
I watched episode 1. I did. I thought it was a little underwhelming. I wish they focused on. They talked about what happened with Pickens. I thought that would have been cool.
Well, the thing is, I don't think you're thinking about like after
Like
the game.
like the finger guns and the penalties, and
Yeah.
then they didn't show any of Joey Porter's penalties, and like because that was kind of the story of the game. I thought so. I've never watched Hard Knocks before, but I thought they were going to kind of follow the story of the game and give us mic'd up. No, it was just a highlight reel. There was no drama, and I know there was in that game, which is frustrating because I know there was stuff that happened in that game that was not shown, and it was kind of frustrating. Like I would have loved to see how Tomlin handled that, and we kind of got robbed of that, in my opinion.
I think we're getting that tonight. I think it's going to be like because it's going to start with Browns Broncos because that's what they led off with, and it's going to be the Browns losing to Denver on Monday night, and then I think it's going to show like Steelers practices throughout the week leading up to this Browns game. And maybe the episode ends with this Browns game. I don't know. Mm-hmm. My prediction is we're going to get a Ben Skoranek breakdown. We're gonna go to his house like we did Cam Hayward's for Thanksgiving because Ben Skoranek. How about that? Kadarius Toney making fun of him, and then Ben Skoranek gets him right back.
That was so
good old Ben Skoranek. But yeah, you got any takes about this game?
Not really. I don't think this was a kind of, in my opinion, this was a must-win game for the Steelers.
Yep.
You can't get swept by the Browns. You just can't.
You can't be swept and be taken seriously.
No, you can't, especially from the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL. I mean, they have 3 wins. They should have 2 wins, but yeah, this was.
I think if the Steelers were to lose, no one could take them seriously in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't deserve to be taken seriously.
Do you think we finally win a playoff game this year?
Man, I hope so. It depends who they play. Right now, we're playing the Ravens. And that's what I'm saying. I'd rather play the Chargers or Broncos, even though I would be more scared of playing the Chargers. I think that would be a trap. I know we beat them once.
I would love a Russell Wilson revenge playoff game.
Gosh, you know what? He didn't get to play the Broncos in the beginning of the season. I think that the Steelers need to do is hope for the 2nd seed, and that what needs to happen? Beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
Christmas miracle.
If we win out, don't we still get the 2nd seed?
I think we would, because right now the Bills have the tiebreaker because of their strength of schedule, but the strength of schedule will probably go in the Steelers' favor if we if they beat the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs in succession. Even the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals still got an offense. And the Steelers, I'm guessing the final week, they're probably going to be resting their starters, especially if they win the division, because why would you risk someone getting hurt? That might be the one game where I'm like, I really don't care if we win or lose, just because we already won it, or we already have a playoff spot, because I don't want guys getting hurt. That's why I'm happy Pickens might not be playing against the Eagles.
True.
I see the Eagles this week as more so of a not must win, because this is the game on paper I had it as a loss for sure. I'm not really confident in them winning. How long has it been since they won in Philly? Isn't it like 50 years?
1960, something like that.
Oh, gosh. Before my dad was born.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're beating Philly. It would be a miracle if they did. If they beat Philly, I think they would clinch a playoff spot. They need a win or a tie to clinch, or the Dolphins or Colts to lose or tie next week.
Yeah.
Both of them have to lose or tie. But yeah. Next one. You got any other games?
Let's go to let's see if there's any other interesting games. Bears Lions, don't care.
Lions are pretty good.
That was last week. Packers Lions was fun. I think people gotta put some. I've said this a few weeks in a row. Put some respect on the Packers. Literally, no one's talking about this team. I think they're very good, and put some respect on them. They almost beat the Pack. They almost beat the Lions. So, shout out Jordan Love and all them down there.
Josh Jacobs, 3 tutties.
Yeah, 66 yards. I'd like to see a little bit more rushing yards from 18 carries, but I digress. Jags Titans, couldn't pay me to talk about this game. How about another Jets loss?
Oh my gosh, you gotta love it.
I love it. Makes you so happy.
I hope Devontae Adams is pretty happy about wanting to go to the Jets.
I love it.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be gone next year, so I mean, or he might come back. He wants to be a Jet. I think this team is the most frustrating team in the league, and I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
32-26.
I love it so much. I hate
overtime.
Jets. I hate Rodgers.
Hey, you know what? Not to cut you off, this further proves the point why Tua carries the Dolphins.
Exactly.
They need him. They need a quarterback. They lost all their games without him. They suck. He's a good
Exactly right.
QB. I despise the Tua hate that people give him.
Hmm.
I see it all the time. It's like Tua's not elite. Yes, he might not be elite, but he's a game changer.
Yeah.
He clearly is the MVP of that team. They
Hmm.
need him at all times. There's teams that don't need the quarterback. They just have enough weapons to do
Yeah.
it. But the Dolphins rely on a quarterback that can throw to their deep threats in Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, even Jonnu Smith, who's been on fire this season, well, these last couple weeks. And who knows, that Dolphins team, you know what? I don't want to say they're going to make it, but they have more than enough talent to sneak in and maybe overtake the Broncos or Chargers for that last playoff spot. I think out of them, the Colts and the Bengals, the Dolphins had the best chance
Yeah.
to
I
do
agree.
anything. Vikings, Falcons. I kind of want to talk about the Vikings.
Hmm.
This is the team. I'll just say this. I'm sorry to Vikings fans if you're out there and you watched my predictions. I had you guys winning like 2 or 3 games. That might go down as one of the craziest takes. This team was supposed to suck. You saw Sam Darnold, you're like, oh, this guy's going to stink. This team's going to stink. It is a
Yeah.
gap year for J.J. McCarthy. And now, what's the plan at QB next year? Is Sam Darnold going to return? Because a team might give him a bag, like the Raiders. Who knows?
Yeah.
They need a quarterback. That's where I'm thinking Justin Fields might end up too. I think they might be in on him. But that's another story for another day. But the Falcons collapse. Kirk Cousins has looked awful these last few weeks.
Horrible.
They went from easy division win to now fighting for their lives.
Exactly. And I said in the beginning of the year, I don't like this Falcons team. I don't think that they're a legit team. I like the Bucks better. I took the Bucks to win this division. Bucks are going to win the division, hopefully. So,
Hey, Mike Evans is back now, I think.
yeah, he's been back for
Yeah.
a week or two now. But
Baker Mayfield balling.
yeah, Baker Mayfield, the rough game though, 2 interceptions.
Yeah. I think
But
I
they still won.
had the Bucks winning as well, but it's like the Falcons were going to be in the mix. They had all the talent to be like,
Yeah, they do. They have.
look,
They
and
really
all the
do.
luck. The Bucks all got injured. You could
Yep.
have got these wins. Like looking at what the Falcons have done these last couple weeks. Let's see here. Let me go through here. Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing skid. 38-6 to the Broncos in Denver. 17-14 loss at home to the Chargers. 42-21 loss at Minnesota. 3 straight games against current playoff place teams. They got murdered in 2 of them. 1 against an NFC foe that's a wild card right now because their division leader is really good, being the Vikings. The Falcons, let me ask you this. Are they making the playoffs?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Here's their remaining schedule. How about this? Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. Does that change your mind?
Kind of.
This team's confusing.
That's 10-8.
Listen, the Panthers could be like a surprise though.
Hopefully.
A frisky little, hey, we're not letting our division rival make the playoffs type of spoiler game.
Hopefully.
They're going to expect them
cool.
to play all their secondary guys.
Yeah.
Because if you're the Falcons, it's coming down to division. I think that's how they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the wild card might be out of reach right now because the Commanders, they're still the Commanders. Moving on. I don't know if you have anything to add to this. I guess the Vikings are going to be a threat.
Yeah.
They won me over. I keep saying the brick wall is coming, and I thought the brick wall was there with the Lions, and then they just went right through that brick wall after they lost and completely rebuilt the city, I guess. I don't know. Saints, Giants stunk. Raiders, Bucks, don't really need to talk about that. Baker Mayfield's carrying that team. I know he had a bad game. Seahawks, Cardinals. I kind of want to discuss this one. You like your Seahawks. I like the Cardinals. We both are kind of high.
I like the Seahawks. I'm really losing love for them because they're not playing the ball that I wish they were playing. So,
hey, the Cardinals have also fell apart too. Now they have a losing record.
They have. I like both of these teams, honestly.
Yeah. Seahawks are running away with it.
Hopefully.
Well, actually, I don't think they're running away with it because you know what? Rams Bills was my game of the week.
That was awesome.
Let's talk about that one. I don't know how we saved this one for last. The Rams are now 7-6, 1 game back of the Seahawks because the 49ers suck this year because they're all injured. Now their coach might be getting traded. I don't know if you saw those rumors. That probably won't happen. The Cardinals have kind of
Absolutely.
fell apart. They're now a game behind the Rams. Yeah, this division is the wild, wild west for a reason right now. Literally any team can still win it, even the 49ers and the Cardinals. They still got division games left, but I think the Rams might be the dark horse to win this division. I think they have the better offense than the Seahawks, personally. I think Matthew Stafford has been playing better than Geno Smith. I think Nakua and Kupp are better wide receiver tandem right now with a better quarterback than Geno Smith, DK, Tyler Lockett, who hasn't really been getting used, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Cooper, Kupp, and Nakua are better than those guys, even though DK Metcalf is an elite wide receiver. But like Matthew Stafford still throwing 320, 23 of 30 and going in a shootout against a front runner for MVP and Josh Allen, who Josh Allen had an amazing game. 3 passing TDs, 3 rushing TDs. He had like 50 fantasy points and he still lost. This was a game that I think the Steelers and Chiefs were very thankful for. I think for Thanksgiving, the week after Thanksgiving, they were thankful for the LA Rams to be able to do this. And I think they're rooting for the LA Rams to make the playoffs now. Because you know what? The Chiefs now have a 2-game lead over the Bills because Bills fans were like, we can still get first seed. It's still possible because if the Chiefs were to lose one more and both those teams hypothetically go like 15-2, I guess, because I think there's 17 games right now. If they both lose 2 games, who is the tiebreaker? The Buffalo Bills. The Bills would be the 1 seed. Right now, the Bills are 2 games back now. They have the same record as the Steelers. They have the tiebreaker of the Steelers because of strength of schedule, of course. But the Rams, they might be a wagon, as people like to call them. They might be a bandwagon to go on. If you're looking for a frisky little fun team, the way to put it, and your team, like if you're a Panthers fan, you're looking for a team to root for, and that's not like an elite team right now, that's a cool little story to follow, the Rams might be that team. I don't know. Blake Corum, solid game. Kyron Williams, solid running back. Let me hear your thoughts on the Rams.
I like the Rams. You know my stance on Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp is just so overrated, and that speaks with Puka. But Puka's a really good receiver. I think
162.
Yeah, Puka's unbelievable. I'm iffy about this Rams team. I don't hate them. If they played a team I didn't like, I would root for them. I don't know if I would see myself rooting for them ever. But they don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Like I used to root for them when they had Aaron Donald. I don't like anyone on this team really that much. So I'm not a hater, but I don't like this team. I think that they shouldn't even be in the situation they're in. They've got a few good wins. This is a really good win against Buffalo, putting up 44 points, but I'm not convinced yet. I'm not sold with this Rams team yet. I think their defense needs to get a whole lot better.
That's fair. I want to look at their schedule coming up because if it's in their favor, they might either be winning their conference or division, that is. And you know what? They have a chance to do that.
Yeah.
They have 3 divisional games. They are at the Niners next week. It's at 8:15. I'm guessing that's Sunday Night Football. It's on the 12th or whatever day of the week that is. 22nd, 3 days before Christmas, they got the Jets. That should be a win. You would hope. Cardinals, Seahawks, then the year. 3 out of 4 of those games, divisional opponents.
Yeah.
I think if they go 2-2 somehow, the way the division goes, they could win the division. I think if they beat the Seahawks, the division is theirs.
Really?
I think that Seahawks-Rams game end of the year, if both those teams are tied, that could be the biggest game of the year for that division because maybe only one of those teams is making the playoffs. The way the wild card is. Who knows? The big question marks the 49ers this year. I think the Cardinals are officially out of it, even though I was really happy they were in it for as long as they were. But, like, if I'm looking at it, I kind of trust the Rams to be able to beat the Seahawks more so. Even they already beat the Seahawks 26-20, and that was in Seattle. The Legion of Boom, the 12th man. I think they can do it at the end of the year too. But that game, that game might determine the last playoff spot in the 4 seed, I guess.
Yeah, it might. It could, and I wouldn't hate that.
Oh no, it'd be a great end. Like usually the last week of the year is usually like no one cares because a lot of the playoff spots are done. This is a division where literally anyone could win it right now. Even the Cardinals, they're still alive.
Yeah,
at 6-7. Moving on. 49ers got a big win, 38-13. Don't really need to. CMC's out again. I do you think the Niners, what do they need to do? This is a big question.
I did want to talk about this. Man. I've never believed in the Madden curse ever. Dude, it might be a real thing. I mean, this guy last year had the best running back season we've like literally ever seen, ever. And now he's bad. He can't stay healthy. He's the worst pick ever in my fantasy league ever history. I was the guy who I was horrible in fantasy this year. In my one league, I finished 3-10. I said that let's see my worst fantasy stakes. First of all, I took CMC second overall. I said Saquon Barkley. I said you couldn't pay. I said, and I quote, "You couldn't pay me to draft Saquon Barkley this year." I said that probably 100 times. You couldn't pay me to draft Saquon Barkley this year because all his red zone carries are going to be taken because of a tush push. All yada 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 yada. One of my worst takes literally ever. I did say that Derrick Henry was going to be good this year. I drafted him in a lot of leagues. So, but really bad. I said Jamar Chase is going to be bad this year. And then I thought I was right for the first 3 weeks. So basically don't trust anything I say when it comes to beginning of the season. I thought CMC was going to have a great year. I thought Tyreek was going to have a good year. Tyreek sucks. CMC sucks. Yeah, just horrible. But going back to CMC, listen, I don't understand what's wrong with him because he had this Achilles tendonitis thing, and then he comes back and he just falls over and he hurts his knee or his Achilles again. And I mean, for as much money as he's making, I mean, I know it's a whole different sport, but LeBron James spends $1 million on his body every year, right? And I'm not trying to glaze my glorious king LeBron, but why are guys like CMC and, the 49ers not doing that and being like, okay, you need to follow this and take care of your body like a guy like LeBron who is 38 years old. And I mean, obviously he's not getting hit, but he's certainly not tearing his Achilles when he's taking a step to the right side. So I think that CMC needs to focus a little bit more on his body and not these State Farm commercials and these Sephora commercials that I'm seeing on TikTok and all this crap. He's got to focus on himself and, stay healthy, learn to stay healthy. Last year was really the first year ever we saw Christian McCaffrey stay healthy for a whole year. And we saw that he was the best running back in the NFL. And I know there are some people saying that he was the best running back we've seen in our lifetime. So within 20 years, which was a little shaky because you got the Le'Veon Bells, you got the crazy seasons of a guy like Todd Gurley had and all that. But yeah, CMC, man, he's got to figure it out. But the Niners, they've proven they can do it without him, but they're not a contender without CMC. They're not.
Yeah,
Brock Purdy kind of shows his colors a little bit.
Are they paying Brock Purdy much?
No,
his contract's up.
Literally the minimum.
Do you think they're going to give him some sort of contract?
You've got to. He's going to get a big contract.
Do you think
he'll be the most? He'll be the most paid.
Yeah,
he'll be the most paid person in pro football, and then someone else's contract. Then Dak Prescott's contract's going to come up again or something, even though he was the most paid, and then someone like Bryce Young's going to get paid. And then it's like, dude, what are we doing? Sam Darnold will be the most in a couple years. Sam Darnold will be the most paid quarterback in NFL history.
Cam Ward for no reason.
Yeah, then it's so ridiculous. It is so annoying.
That's how it is in sports. Everyone wants to be the highest paid.
Yeah, I mean, look at Soto.
Soto's getting like 800 plus. But yeah, the Niners need him. I think there's this whole rumor they're going to trade Kyle Shanahan, their coach, because you can trade coaches in the NFL. We've never really seen it, but it can happen. They shouldn't do that. Kyle Shanahan,
it never happened ever.
I don't think their coach isn't the problem. They're just all hurt. Same thing with the Dolphins coach, McDaniels has had the issue of injuries. I mean, I think McDaniels is the dumber coach. He's just really corny, but I like his person. I think he's pretty funny. But Kyle Shanahan is not the problem. Their offensive loss, Jordan Mason was even out. He was hurt.
Yeah.
They're not healthy. I think the Niners have the biggest disappointment this season.
Absolutely.
Because them. You could even throw the Cowboys in there, but the Niners.
I'd
are
say
the
the Bengals.
number
I'd say
one.
the Bengals are the biggest
Ooh, that's
disappointment.
another one.
And the Cowboys,
The Niners, however, this was a team with Super Bowl aspirations, and I guess we can lead into this because I don't really want to talk about Chargers Chiefs. Only if you want to cover that really quick. Nothing really stuck out to me. It was just like another crazy luck Chiefs thing at the end of the game, like a field goal off the post. But going into this, I want to hear your let's give out some awards as of now. I guess like starting out like little interesting ones, not like MVP or anything like that.
Yeah.
Most disappointing team, I think, were both 49ers.
I'm going to say Bengals.
Bengals, I'm going 49ers. I like both those picks. I think both teams should be in Super Bowl talk every year.
Yes.
And both teams are under 500 greatly, not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Most surprising team. I'm saying the Vikings.
I'll say, I like that. I'll say the Washington Commanders.
That's a good team. You can even throw the Steelers in there.
I was going to say Steelers. I don't want to be biased.
So many people thought we were going to suck.
Yeah, I think Vikings is a very good answer.
I just have to say the Vikings because I had them winning 2 or 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bit, like your fantasy football takes. My bad take was the Vikings being garbage. Now I want to ask you this: comeback player of the year. People think it's like an award. Like, did Damar Hamlin even win it? I forget.
No,
or was him and Joe Flacco?
Flacco won it.
So people are like coming back from injury. Now it can be coming back from stinking up the joint, like Geno Smith. Who's your comeback player of the year? Because I'm stuck between 2 guys.
Well, I think Sam Darnold would be a pretty big one. And then there's, Burrow, but he's playing horrible. He's not playing horrible, but his team's horrible, so you can't do that.
I don't think it. You know who my second guy is?
Who?
Russ.
Yeah.
I think it's Sam Darnold's award, but Russell Wilson should be in that conversation.
He should. Why isn't he?
Because I don't know. He doesn't have the stats. He hasn't played all season. That's the thing. Sam Darnold's played all year. I think it's Sam Darnold's award, but Russell Wilson deserves that award in his own way. Both those QBs have taken a lot of slack, especially Russell Wilson. Sorry, Sam Darnold, but Russell Wilson, after his Broncos days, has taken the most slack for no reason. Like Nevin said in the chat, Russell Wilson wasn't even bad statistically last year. I don't get where that's come from. I think he had 26 touchdowns, maybe 13 picks, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I would have killed for that last year.
Sam.
Like, if you don't think that's good, I don't know what you're thinking. There's so many teams that would love that. I think Russell Wilson, if he played the whole year, I think it would be his award. I think he'll still get a good bit of votes, but I think Sam Darnold's going to win it. I think both players have proved a lot this year. And you know what? Let me ask you this question. Who's the Steelers QB next year? Is it Russ?
It's got to be Russ.
Do you think Justin Fields is gone? Do they sign him again?
I hope not. I feel like, he should be. But I like Fields. I think that we can do a lot with Fields. And I think, again, that Russ is the perfect guy to mentor Fields. Perfect. So I think if Fields wants a shot of winning, and the fan base loves Justin Fields. So if he can just wait out 2 or 3 years, he'll be like 27 or something whenever it's time to start. That's not too young. You look at guys like Rodgers and Brady, and even now Jordan Love didn't start their first few years in the NFL. Now Justin Fields did, but now he's taking 2, maybe 3 years off until he's a developed quarterback that has proven that he is reliable in clutch situations and can throw the ball. No one has a better deep ball than Russell Wilson right now in the NFL. They just don't. It's
known as the moon ball.
Yeah,
that's his thing. Now I was looking at teams here. I'm looking at the standings just to get these team names. The Russell Wilson free agency is going to be interesting just because I don't know how much the Steelers would be willing to pay him because he's going to be getting more than $1 million. He's making $1 million bucks. He's practically playing for free because the Broncos are paying him like $50 million. I think it is. The Steelers are going to have to make a decision. How many years? But of all these teams, these are teams that need a QB. They're either drafting one or going to sign one. And I think a couple of these teams could be fits for Justin Fields, like the Raiders I brought up. The Saints could be an interesting one, even though they have Derek Carr. The Saints and they've been in on it feels like Justin Fields was supposed to be a Saint. They were in on him. It was the Steelers and Saints. Those were the rumors. And looking at this, teams that need a QB. The Jets, I don't think Russ goes there. They're going to want to get young. They're not in a window right now to win. I don't think.
I think they are without Rodgers. They're still in a window.
Do you think they would get Russ?
They need a coach. They're kind of a coach away, I'd say.
Would you think they would go?
Figure it out. No, they won't go Russ. They do need. Oh, you mean Fields?
Would they go? Would they go for Russell Wilson if he was a free agent?
No, absolutely not. No.
Patriots have Drake May. Why would you get Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
They have a young guy. Steelers would need a quarterback. Ravens have one. Bengals have one. Browns, I don't think they get Russ because they're going to
stay with Deshaun.
Well, yeah, they're stuck with him too.
Yeah.
Texans, Stroud. Colts, they want Anthony Richardson to be their guy. Jacksonville has T-Law. The Titans, don't think so. I think they want to go young.
Yeah, I could see
I think it's smart. They might draft one.
Yeah.
Chiefs don't need one. Chargers don't need one. Denver found their guy, I think, in Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders are probably my next.
They're going to draft a quarterback, though.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Shador.
I don't think. I've been seeing people think Cam Ward's going to be the top QB.
Yeah. Milroe, Gabriel.
I think Milroe's around 2.
Maybe, but I think he'll be very good in the NFL.
I've seen so many mock drafts saying the Steelers are getting Milroe in round 2.
We don't need Milroe unless Fields is gone. Then I would love to have Milroe.
Milroe's your guy behind Russ.
That'd be
Russ
sick.
Training him.
That would be fire.
Cool. I know you're a Bama guy. I'm not really high on them, but Milroe's pretty fun to watch. Not gonna lie,
he's very fun to watch. Milton.
Moving on.
On title 10.
Eagles don't need one. Commanders clearly don't need one. Cowboys, they just signed Dak. The Giants, they were interviewing Russell Wilson. I think they draft one, though. They're going to have a top 5.
Yeah.
Lions, no. Vikings, the Vikings. Sam Darnold.
Because you have J.J. McCarthy back there. But I think Sam Darnold is going to be your guy for a few years.
Packers, no. Bears, no. Buccaneers, no. Falcons, no. They're locked up. Saints,
no.
They have Derek Carr, but I don't think they believe in him. Panthers, they're sticking with Bryce Young, I think. Seahawks, no. I don't think that reunion's ever happening. Rams, no. Cardinals, no. Niners, no. The Steelers, I think, are the best bet for Russ to end his career.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I guess that's NFL talk. Unless you want to add anything, and then we'll get into college football really quick.
No, yeah, we can hop into the college football bracket here. If you want to, do you want to pull that up and screencast that?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I think it's just on here. Because we can make predictions if we really wanted to. I don't think there's a. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Here's our bracket. This is the bracket that was just released on Sunday. Make that a little bigger. Okay. Clemson, Texas. Arizona State has a bye. Tennessee, Ohio State. This is clearly game of the first round, in my opinion. They have Oregon. So this is the pot of death, you could call. No one, poor Tennessee. I feel bad for them. SMU, Penn State, Boise State. I think Penn State, this is their best bet to make it far if they were. Indiana, Notre Dame, Georgia. This is a very big question mark for me because Georgia just lost their QB. No one knows if Carson Beck's going to be healthy. Notre Dame, Indiana. Those are 2 wild cards. We've seen Notre Dame in the playoffs. Historically stinks. Indiana, their strength of schedule wasn't that good, but they were still really good. Can they beat Notre Dame? So I guess let's start up here. I can't really fill it out, I don't think. But, yeah. Who do you think's winning in Texas?
I'll take Texas.
Taking Texas. I'm as well going the Longhorns. I think Clemson is a great matchup for them, if I'm being honest.
I don't think Clemson's that good.
You know what? I know you like Bama. I think Bama's in if Clemson were to lose.
Yep.
This would have been I think Bama would be playing SMU right now. No, Bama would be playing Penn State if that didn't happen. So I think that's part of the reason you're taking Clemson, Texas.
Yep. Yep.
I'm as well going Texas there.
Bama should be in.
And then I guess let's just jump to here right now. Arizona State or Texas? I guess Texas whoops them.
Texas smacks the Sun Devils.
I think the Sun Devils are a great little story. They were picked to finish last, but I think they're going to be exiting pretty quick. Texas wins that. They go to the Cotton Bowl. Now, this is interesting. These two games right here, this honestly could determine – well, actually, no, this game right here could determine the winner of it all, in my opinion. Tennessee, Ohio State. Who wins that at the Horseshoe?
I'll take Tennessee.
You're taking the upset.
Yeah, I think just SEC ball means more.
I am going to take Ohio State here. I think
Ohio State is so devastated by that Michigan loss that they are just in a blender.
You know, I was thinking about that, honestly, for a while.
I
was thinking about that today, just out of the blue, being like, Michigan might have rattled them. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think OSU and Tennessee is a great game, but I think this is a chance for Ohio State to right the ship. And I think, honestly, Ohio State, what worries me about this one for Ohio State is I don't think they're going to worry about that Michigan loss. I think they're going to overthink this if they were to lose and think more about revenge on Oregon. Mm-hmm. They're going to look ahead a game and think this is an easy win. But I do think Ohio State is going to win this. But then we go, so you have Tennessee, Oregon. Who's winning that in your thing?
Oregon.
And then I'm going to take Oregon over OSU again. I know it was very close last time, but I think Oregon would win round 2. Moving down here. SMU, Penn State, winner plays Ashton Genty in Boise State.
I'll take SMU.
You know what? I'm with you. This is my upset. I know it's not even going to be a whiteout, I don't think.
Penn State's not good.
It's at noon. This could have been a night game, but you know what? The better game's at night, being Ohio State, Tennessee. They got their game on a Saturday or a Saturday. I think the other games are on Friday night. But looking at this, I think this is a trap for Penn State. I think James Franklin might overcoach this. I know you and I are not Penn State fans. This is just not me hating on Penn State. This is just my brain saying they can't beat top teams. SMU, yes, they're ACC. That's not a good football conference. Don't get me wrong.
Franklin is 1-14 against top 10 teams.
Yeah. SMU's good. SMU is really good this year. I think it's a trap for Penn State. If Penn State loses this game, I think they should be ashamed, but I think SMU wins. And then I think SMU beats Boise as well.
Yeah. Love it.
So you got Boise over SMU? I mean, SMU over Boise?
Yeah.
Okay. So SMU is going to the Orange Bowl in both of ours. Indiana, Notre Dame, Georgia.
Notre Dame.
I think, honestly, Notre Dame gets out of that and goes to the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, I think
they beat Georgia.
Whoa. I don't. I think Georgia's going to go.
Just because.
It depends on Carson Beck's health. Depends on Carson Beck's health.
That.
So if Carson Beck's out, I'll take Notre Dame.
I think as of now, without this news, I think Notre Dame beats Georgia. But if that news is he's playing, Georgia wins.
Yeah.
But as of now, I'm taking Notre Dame. So my final 4, well, I guess yours first. You have Texas, Oregon, and then SMU, Georgia.
Yeah.
So give me your championship.
I have a Oregon, Notre Dame, or Oregon, Georgia. Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting. Who wins?
Oregon. Bye.
I am going to take Oregon. I'm taking Oregon, and then right now, Notre Dame, unless Carson Beck's out.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's not bad. I get they lost to NIU, but they've been a better team since.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if Carson Beck's in, it's going to be Oregon, Georgia. I think this bracket is set up perfectly for Georgia. And it's honestly set up perfect for Penn State to get through here if they can beat SMU.
Yeah.
Boise State's cool, but I don't think they're going to beat Penn State or SMU. Same thing with that Arizona State. Cool little team. I don't think they beat Clemson or Texas. Maybe Clemson, but Clemson could be Clemson. But I think Oregon as well as my national champion. I think so. We both have Oregon facing Notre Dame or Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're kind of in our little top 3 type of thing.
And who's your champion? Oregon?
Yeah, I got Oregon as well.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing this. But yeah, that's our bracket right now.
Sure.
I think it's interesting. Did they get anything wrong?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Bama, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Bama's not in the college football playoff. It's complete bullshit.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is.
So
Who the
okay,
hell did SMU
why?
beat? Who did SMU beat?
Bama lost to Vanderbilt
Who'd they
as
beat?
the number 1
Who
team.
they beat?
Who, SMU?
Look at who Bama beat.
Let me go to their schedule here. I think SMU should be in. I don't think they should be punished. I don't think they should be punished.
Well, if strength of schedule means nothing in the college football, then Bama should just schedule at Western Kentucky, Toledo every week. And
should Bama be in over Indiana, who had a bad strength of schedule?
I don't think you should punish Indiana, but I think Bama's a better football team than them. But again, that's a different conference.
I gotta pull this up. Can't find Bama. I know Bama's playing Michigan in a bowl game. That's gonna go awful for Michigan. That's gonna be the bowl of all time. Let me find this. Where the heck's Bama?
SMU had a joke of a strength of schedule. A joke.
I think SMU deserves to be in.
Our best win is Pitt.
I still think they should be in. Like, let me look at the losses.
Bama beat Georgia.
Yeah, but what they do the week after?
Lost.
They also lost to Oklahoma.
That's their worst. Oklahoma's their worst loss. Worse. It's way worse than Vandy, in my opinion.
I think the Vanderbilt one's the worst. Because you know why? They were ranked number 1.
They were ranked number 1. Vandy was unranked.
They lost to Vanderbilt.
Vandy was scrappy.
And then now look at Vandy.
They can't beat the wing T. Yeah, Vandy's not good. It's a bad loss. It's not worse than the Oklahoma loss. Not worse.
Oklahoma loss was bad. I think both, even Indiana in this conversation, I think all three of them have their case. What screwed them over was Clemson beating SMU.
Yeah, for sure. But
That's what screwed them over.
I think that Bama should have got in.
If Bama were in, I think they would have beat Penn State because they would have been in the SMU spot. Bama beats Penn State, I think, in Penn State. Then we would have got Bama versus Georgia, I think. No, Bama versus OSU. Boise, I mean. Bama would beat Boise.
Yep.
And then maybe we get a cool little Ashton Genty touchdown in there, but it'd be like probably 40-7, maybe 40-14.
And then it would be Bama versus Georgia again with the hurt Carson back. Bama wins that. Bama goes to the national championship. Bama beats Oregon.
Uh-huh. Oh, goodness. I can't wait for the college football playoff to be expanded to 16 teams next year, in a couple years, and then 64, and then 100. I saw one that someone made. It was like 1,022 teams.
Yeah, I saw IUP was on that.
Where were they at? Because I was trying to look for them. I saw Pitt.
They're 300.
They're got the 300 seed. How about that? Yeah. The 300. Who were they playing?
I don't know. I could find it. Hold on.
I saw one. It was like Ashton Genty versus the something School of Music is going to go nuts. IUP in the 1,022 team college football playoff.
Who sent it to me?
I think each team has their case.
Who sent it to me?
But
yeah, I don't know.
Was it on TikTok? Because I saw it.
No, I forget who sent it to me.
I had to swipe through all these slideshows trying to find Pitt, and it was on the last slide.
Right,
I couldn't find IUP.
IUP is, here it is, 354th. We'd be playing Westfield State.
Anyone good in that portion of the bracket?
Then if we won this bracket, well, then we would go on to play.
Nevin said he sent it to you.
Yeah. Waynesburg.
We
6-10. UNC Pembroke, Cunham, USF, Baylor.
That's where we lose.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Davidson, Grove City, North Park. And then if we survive that bracket somehow, then we got to go against Minnesota, Florida State. This is nuts.
IUP would beat Florida State.
Yeah.
They suck. But yeah, that's college football. It's a fun world.
Yep, it's fun world.
I'm happy we get good games next weekend. We don't have to wait till New Year's. I'm excited. We don't get a big gap.
Yeah. Fine. I like this playoff, but I just don't like the Bama's on in.
That's fair. That's fair. They could be in a lot of scenarios. I think if they were to beat Vandy, they would be in. That Vandy
Yeah,
loss
I
screwed
think if
them
they beat
over.
Oklahoma, they'd be in. But yeah,
I think the one loss they're looking back at is Vandy.
yeah, for sure,
If you don't lose as the number one team, I think SMU's out
probably.
and Bama's in. I think the committee looked at that being like, because the committee, we don't know what they're thinking, but if I was in their head and I had that, I was like, the number one team lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
I think that's the loss they looked at. I get Oklahoma was a bad
it's a
loss,
bad loss.
but I think Vanderbilt weighed a lot on them.
Yeah,
But yeah, anything else you want to cover?
the committee. Yeah, I agree.
I think the AP, didn't they have them over it?
But they don't want Bama. It's fine. Blitz, Bama, Blitz, Roll Tide. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Roll Tide.
Anything else we want to cover today? Do we want to preview what we're doing Friday?
Yeah, we'll just go over power rankings again, and
do we want to look at all the other bowl games?
Yep.
We could recap MLB free agency if anything else happens this week.
Sure.
Probably nothing because everyone's too scared to do anything at the winter meetings.
Except for Juan Soto.
Yeah, that's nuts. Don't you like the Mets too?
I think I like the Yankees a little bit more than the Mets, I'd say.
Oh, it's okay. The Yankees will probably steal Pete Alonso.
That would be hilarious. That'd be the funniest thing they could do.
It's the most predictable thing ever. They're going to be all petty.
No, I think Pete's going to sign.
What do you think about Yankees fans burning Juan Soto jerseys? He was there for.
You know what? I totally agree with it, and I hate jersey burning, hate it. But do you know why I don't agree with it?
Huh?
Because his last name's not on the damn jersey.
Yeah.
So just
that
wait.
Is true.
Someone else wears 22. Just wait. Someone's going to get 22, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're less mad. I think they're less mad if Soto didn't go to the Mets. If he would have picked the Red Sox, they would still do it because the Yankees and Red Sox hate each other. If it was the Dodgers, yeah, probably too. Blue Jays, I don't think they'd give a crap, even though they're divisional rivals. I think the Soto situation is a weird one to be in if you're a Yankees fan, because I don't know how you can blame your ownership for offering $760 million.
Yeah.
I don't think any.
Do you
like,
see
do you
see why they didn't get it? I'll show you.
Well, did you see the report about how a security guard at Yankee Stadium did something with his parent or whatever?
Google images.
Yeah, that's what it is. I saw that, and that's crazy. That the Yankees.
A big reason why he didn't get it. Hold on.
I know the Mets are also giving him sweet.
Pull this
Listen,
up.
Uncle Steve Cohen, as he's known, loves baseball. That's why he got him.
Doom.
Oh, God.
They wouldn't give him a damn sweet.
Well, did you also see the reasoning? I think John Heyman said it. It was about how. What is it?
You there? Hold on.
Hello.
You there?
Hello.
Nate? My headset died? My headset probably died. Yep, my headset's dead.
No, but
never been dead.
I'll keep talking. So the other reason that went out, a couple of reporters were talking about it, was Juan Soto found out, he's a family guy.
Yeah.
He found out that a Yankees security guard escorted one of his parents away from where they were at.
Wow.
And then it also happened supposedly with either his private chef or private driver without Soto knowing. So if you're the Yankees, how are you that stupid to let that happen? Because you have Juan Soto for 1 year. You traded away some pieces for him to the Padres. You have Soto for 1 year. You're looking to make him the guy. You know what also it is? I bet he didn't want to be under Aaron Judge. You know what? That's fair because Soto's really good. He's his own player in his own way. And I think the Yankees offer the worst future. The Mets have better prospects and better young players. I think Soto's going to have more fun playing with Lindor than Aaron Judge. I get Aaron Judge is an awesome guy, but Soto
Mets are way more fun team. Mets are like the most fun team in the MLB.
And I hate the Mets, but they look pretty fun. Lineup looks nasty. I'm wondering what they're going to do with Pete Alonso, though.
Yeah.
Because he's going to want money. Maybe the Pirates are going to get him. Probably not, but yeah.
Probably not.
That's all I got today. Maybe Friday we can cover some stuff.
All I got to do. Well, thank you for everyone tuned in today. We're back which is nice. And we'll see you guys on Friday. It'll be a good show. Do some power rankings. But until then, we'll see you guys. Thanks for
See
tuning
you
in.
later.
Come on. Come on. And
Oh,
man. This is awkward.
I think I can end it.
Having trouble connecting. Please check.
Let me try. I'm going to
messages.
end it. Farewell, everyone.
Bye.